going back to our continuing focus here on Wion, the return of Indian national Hamid Nehal Ansari. A moment that India has waited for the last 6 years. Hamid Nehal Ansari is finally going to be reunited with his family in just a short while from now. These are the latest visuals that we're getting to you from the Wagah border. Let's tell you what's happened over the last few hours. Hamid Nehal Ansari, after he was released from the Mardan jail in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in Pakistan, where he was languishing for the last 6 years, was then taken to the Wagah border via road. We've been getting you his images from while he was making that road journey as well. These are the latest visuals coming to you now from Wagah border, where he's all set to make that crossover. Those images that we played out for you are the first visuals of Hamid Nehal Ansari right after he was released from the Pakistani jail. He's reuniting with his family after 6 years. Remember, in 2012 is when he left his home for Afghanistan to then cross over into Pakistan. An emotional moment, not just for Hamid Nehal Ansari's family, but for the entire country. India has been awaiting Nehal Ansari's return for the last 6 years. This is a moment of reunification that the entire family of Hamid Nehal Ansari has been waiting for, fighting for the last 6 years. India, of course, has been leaving no stone unturned to ensure that Hamid Nehal Ansari returns to India. It's been a long-drawn battle which began in 2012 when Hamid Nehal Ansari had told his family that he wants to take up a job in Afghanistan, but he actually wanted to make his way to Pakistan. So from Afghanistan to Pakistan, he entered the country to meet a girl that he befriended online. That is where the ordeal began. He was then picked up by the Pakistani authorities and then had been lodged in the Mardan jail in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa since 2012. For the last 6 years, he's been waiting for this moment. Remember, his family last saw him way back in 2012. When he first told them that he wants to move to Afghanistan to take up a job there. He then crossed over to Pakistan to meet the girl that he'd befriended online. It's a story that has kept India on its edge because it's been leaving no stone unturned diplomatically as well to ensure that Hamid Nehal Ansari's return is successful. And this is the culmination of a long-drawn battle on that front, both legally and diplomatically. India has been making concerted efforts for Hamid Nehal Ansari's return. He is now seen meeting his family, embracing his family members. This is a 6-year ordeal that has ended on an emotional note. A 6-year-long ordeal ending on that emotional note when Hamid Nehal Ansari embraces his family members. Remember, they last saw him way back in 2012. He's been lodged in the Mardan jail in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa since then. His jail term ended on December 15th. His legal documents, though, were not ready, so there was an additional 3-day delay in his return to India. Hamid Nehal Ansari reuniting with his family. He had gone missing after he was taken into custody by Pakistani intelligence agencies and the local police in Kohat in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in Pakistan. That was in 2012. His family has been awaiting his return for the last 6 years and waiting for him at the Wagah border for the last few hours. This is an emotional moment. This is a moment that India has been waiting for the last 6 years as well. It's been a long-drawn battle, both legally and diplomatically, as India has left no stone unturned to ensure that Hamid Nehal Ansari is reunited with his family, is safely made to return back home. He was released from the Mardan jail in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa earlier in the day, after which he was taken via road from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in Pakistan to the Wagah border. We also got you those images earlier of him making that transit. And these are the visuals of him now reuniting with his family, making his way back home. It's been a long-drawn ordeal for his family and for the entire country, as well as the Indian government has been trying to ensure that this moment comes to fruition.
मैम प्लीज दो शब्द अगर बोलना चाहें आप ओ साइड पे हो जाओ मैडम, साइड पे हो जाओ मैडम, साइड पे उधर साइड।
Hamid Nehal Ansari, after embracing his family members, reuniting with his family, will now be making his way back home. Remember, he'd left Mumbai. That was in 2012. He told his family that he wanted to take up a job in Afghanistan. He'd actually crossed over to Pakistan from Afghanistan to meet a girl that he befriended online. That's when this ordeal began. It's been a long-drawn struggle for India diplomatically, and it's been an ordeal that has ended on an emotional note. These are the visuals from just a few moments ago when Hamid Nehal Ansari finally met his family, reunited with his mother, embracing his family members after the end of that 6-year-long ordeal. It's an emotional homecoming. Hamid Nehal Ansari has been languishing in the Pakistani jail for the last 6 years. His family members have not seen him since 2012. So it's an emotional moment. It's a long-drawn ordeal that's ended on that emotional note. It's also been a moment that India has been waiting for because it's been making every concerted effort to ensure that Hamid Nehal Ansari makes his way back home. Hamid Nehal Ansari had left his home in 2012. He worked as a software engineer. He told his family that he wanted to take up a job in Afghanistan, but he'd met a girl that he befriended online, a Pakistani girl whom he wanted to meet, and which was the reason why he made his way from Mumbai to Afghanistan and then crossed over to Pakistan. He'd gone missing after that since he was taken into custody by the Pakistani intelligence agencies. His jail term ended on December 15th. It's been a long-drawn ordeal. Let's tell you what happened earlier in the day as well. after his formalities and the last-minute procedures were completed over the last few hours after his jail term ended on December 15th. He was released from the Mardan jail in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and then transported via road to the Wagah border. These are the visuals of him reuniting with his family, a long-drawn ordeal that's ended on that emotional note with him finally embracing his family members. Remember, they last saw him way back in 2012. Let's get in further inputs from our correspondent Siddhant Sibul. These are emotional moments, not just for the family members of Hamid Nehal Ansari. Siddhant, it's been a moment that India has been waiting for the last 6 years as well, making every concerted effort to ensure that the Indian national is reunited with his family and making every effort diplomatically as well.
Well, the reunion has happened at Wagah. The ordeal is over. Jubilation, of course, we saw the visuals, how the mother almost broke down after hugging her son, and of course hugging her son after 6 years, running pillar to post, whether it's in New Delhi or whether it's Islamabad, giving pleas to both the governments. And finally, after 6 years, the day came. The MEA has confirmed that Hamid Nehal Ansari, the man who went to Afghanistan and to Pakistan for love, is back here in India. If it was, of course, not Veer Zara, it was a tragedy which happened, but tragedy, of course, now symbol of many prisoners, Indian prisoners as well as Pakistani prisoners, languishing in each other's respective jails. And after this, we have been told that the family will be coming to New Delhi via bus, and they will be meeting the Indian External Affairs Minister. And the release comes at a very bittersweet time between India and Pakistan. The ties, of course, frayed, but of course, a lot of developments happening, whether it's Kartarpur corridor or whether it's the release of Hamid Nehal Ansari. Many will be asking same questions about Kulbhushan Jadhav. Will he be back after February? Because in February, the international court, the world court, will be taking the entire case in Netherlands, and after that, some judgment will be announced. But coming to Hamid Nehal Ansari, he, of course, becoming the face of many prisoners. I spoke to Jatin Desai, the man who was single-handedly responsible for his release, the journalist who has accompanied the family till Wagah, who told that it's not about just Hamid Nehal Ansari, it's also about so many fishermen. There are approximately 400 Indian fishermen languishing in Pakistani jail, and approximately 150 Pakistani fishermen who are in Indian jails. They need to be released at least on humanitarian grounds, because their families are waiting in respective borders. So that is something that's being highlighted, and the media was highlighting the entire case. We here at Wion were highlighting the case for last 1 year. Wion was one of the first channels to report that Hamid Nehal Ansari was in a Pakistani jail in Mardan. We reported it first, and finally it was accepted by the Pakistani establishment, because they weren't even accepting that he was in Pakistan, and now he's back. We followed his journey today from Mardan to Lahore to Wagah, and we will be giving you all the latest updates from Amritsar to Delhi to Mumbai.
And it's a moment that, as we've been telling our viewers, the whole country has been waiting for. What an emotional moment of his reunification with his family, his mother breaking down. We're going to leave it there for the moment, Siddhant. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with all of those details and perspectives. We'll, of course, keep tracking Hamid Nehal Ansari's journey onwards from here on, as well as he makes his way back home.